Be good. Hey, what's up, guys? What is going on? Welcome back. Hope y'all are doing well. RB Leipzig versus Real Madrid. The Champions League is back. It's back. And I wasn't even really missing the Champions League. I was okay just watching the leagues. I had plenty of good action there with La Liga, the EPL, and the cups, their respective cups within these leagues. So Real Madrid didn't play that good, and yet they won. And I think they won because of the ineffectiveness of RB Leipzig. Leipzig had so many opportunities. What was it, like 18 shots on goal? Amazing how they didn't score. Amazing how they didn't score. Now, I know Real Madrid, before I get pummeled and blasted, that they're missing Alaba, Rudiger, Militao, Bellingham, I know they're missing these huge players. Leipzig did have a good game. They had a really good game. I think a friend of mine was telling me, if Bellingham was playing, it'd be a completely different game. Probably, perhaps. Yeah, absolutely. Because to me, the only attacker in this team, Real Madrid, Vinicius. Rodrigo is no attacker. He's not generating nothing. That's why I don't like this guy. Like, he's not doing anything. Now, Vinicius was having a hard time. Despite being all alone, he was having a really hard time. Especially that first half. Those first 20 minutes, he could do nothing. That whole half, that first half, he wasn't doing anything. And boy, was he trying. But it was so congested in the back. I mean, at times they had 4 people on him. So I do not blame him. Bellingham, look, I think, he could have had, he would have made a difference. Or as good as Leipzig were defensively, he would have also had a hard time getting past. They outplayed Real Madrid, in my opinion. And from minute one, they went with everything. I mean, I'm not going to say they disrespected, but they weren't afraid of Real Madrid. They weren't afraid of Real Madrid, and it showed. I mean, the amount of times, I don't know how many shots, 18 shots or something like that. And it's just crazy that this ended up 1-0. And I also think that they were robbed of that goal in the first half, the first couple of minutes, the header. I think we've all seen a lot of questionable fouls, plays within the box that could have been overturned, that could have been called a penalty, and yet they weren't, because we understand there's a certain parameter, let's call it, where that's not going to count. That's not enough for you to get a penalty over that, and we're okay. There's no controversy or anything. This was one of those things because it was a shove. I thought it was an offside at first. The shove on Lunin, it was negligible. I didn't think it set him off at all. You could also say it was dumb of the guy, the defender from Leipzig, to be pushing him at that point. But he didn't know the ball was going to go inside, especially from the way the ball was just going up. It's just instinctive pushing him. Yet, don't do it. You could have refrained from doing something like that. Obviously, it cost your team the goal. But again, that was barely a push. That was barely a push. That was a horrible call by VAR and the ref, or VAR not giving the ref opportunity to go to the teleprompter, the monitor, and be able to to call it himself. Because I think if he would have seen it, it would have stood. It definitely would have stood. That was a goal. That was a goal for Leipzig. But at the same time, their inexperience, their almost naivete, and their ineffectiveness and not being able to score a goal. They had way too many opportunities. That's why I'm blown away that they didn't end up scoring a goal. They had so many opportunities, especially that first half. They had a good 45 minutes to be able to score a goal. You could even argue the 90 minutes, despite the goal from Diaz. And the few times that Real Madrid had opportunity to get to the front, to be able to score, I mean, it was clear opportunities, clear shots. The Vinicius little dummy, the juke on the defender, and then I thought it was a toe poke, but I think it was outside of his foot shot, and then hitting the post. That could have been a goal as well. Leipzig didn't really have that. I mean, they had that with this guy Shesko, I think, but they just couldn't finalize. They just could not be as effective as Real Madrid were. Right now, the goal from Diaz was just a thing of beauty. I mean, just to marvel at. You could watch that over and over and over again. And it's funny, the way he finished, if only he had finished, and it was a lot easier against Girona, right before he got subbed, the game against Girona. I mean, he did it in this game from a further distance, right? and he couldn't do that against Girona. It's just funny how things work out. And I'd be lying if that didn't remind me of Messi. The goal, the whole setup, the whole dribbling and getting past the defenders. That was like Messi. That was like Messi inspired. Really, really good goal by Diaz, and really good performance also. Even though sometimes I felt he was not in the game, especially the first half. I mean, everybody was just, nothing was working for Madrid in that first half. The only one that I would say that was doing his job and doing his job well was Tchouaméni. Tchouaméni, chapeau. Hats off, man. Hats off, because damn, you're not, what? Central defender. This guy's playing central defender. I mean, that's a makeshift. That's a stopgap of a defensive line. Amazing for him, Tchouaméni. Amazing. Lunin did what a keeper has to do. I feel like because I watched some other people talk about this and how he was amazing, extraordinary, and you didn't need to bring in Kepa, or you have this world-class keeper, and yet you had Lunin the whole time, right? Lunin did what he had to do. All those balls, at least 9 out of 10 of those balls, were within arm's reach. And maybe 1 or 2 were, just you shuffle a couple of feet away and you would have gotten there. He did what you do as a keeper. I'm trying not to take anything away from the guy, because he did a good job. He had a really good game, but to say that, he was, some people are calling him man of the match. It's like there were balls that he needs to get to. He needs to defend those balls. He should be able to block those balls. You get me? If one of those balls, like the Olmos, the Sheka, the forward, if one of those balls would have gone in, I know a lot of people would have said, hey man, he should have gotten that ball. And then they would have said, like, we need to get back Courtois. How come Courtois? You see, that's why you need someone like Courtois. No, dude. Like, he needs to save those shots. He needs to block those shots. So again, I'm not saying he had a bad game. And I'm not saying there were super easy shots, but there's shots that a goalkeeper has to save. Like, what do you want me to say? They're like within, his perimeter, his circumference, they're there. Like you don't have to do much. You don't have to do much except focus and be in the game. I don't know. It seems kind of ridiculous how people are praising him for doing basic keeper saves. He goalkeeped. He keeped. That's it. So not the best of game from Real Madrid. Definitely not the best of game. Really good performance by Xavi Simons, another player that I don't really care for. But I mean, again, the Vinicius effect. The Vinicius effect is in effect with a player like Xavi Simons. You give someone an opportunity to play constantly, and as a starter, no less. I mean, you're gonna get better. You are gonna get better. I don't think he's world class. I don't think you should start planning to sign him for Liverpool, Manchester United, these big teams. Taking him to PSG was a huge mistake. I don't know why they did that. Again, the hype. There's so much hype around this guy. Today, or yesterday, I should say, because I had to divide this game because of work. Carvajal, man, he was giving Carvajal a hard time, a really, really hard time. I don't know what Carvajal was complaining about when he chopped him a couple of times in this game, but he did a really good job of just generating gameplay, passing, holding on to the ball really good. The counter attack as well, providing a little bit of a pause. And there was a really good play, the little tap over Cruz, and then the volley, really good. He had a good game. Xavi Simons had a good game. And Diaz is out. Hopefully it's nothing. If you're an optimist, it's just a little bang on a little Charlie horse on his calf, or I don't know where he got hit. Hopefully it's nothing serious. I hope to see many more things from Ibrahim Diaz. It looks like he's just growing. He's just getting better and better. So yeah, guys, thank you so much again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Tschüss.